Like this.
Okay, I'm going to be doing a house visit reading for a friend of mine. Here's the bag with all my cards. Look at her. She's coming home with me, and if she doesn't work out, she's going right back here. I think I'm gonna take a break from reading for a while. Professionally, I'm still gonna do it for friends. I don't know if I want to do events anymore. When I first started doing this, the idea I had in my head was to have people naturally gravitate towards me, and if they found me or if they were asked me what I do, I would tell them what I do, and then if they say, oh, I've been thinking about seeing a psychic, then, you know, we would set up a time. But I don't like the idea of marketing myself or going to events and just sitting there. Yeah, I've been talking to a couple of friends lately, and I do house visits for people all the time, but I don't know how I feel about doing events anymore. I don't know if it's actually that I don't want to do them or it's the labor and setup that deters me. I don't think that I'm not good at what I do. I just think that there's something feels a little off, and I feel like I can't trust my abilities at the moment for some reason. You know, about a reading I had with a Vietnamese clairvoyant around this time last year, and it felt like a very negative experience, but she was very powerful. She knew what she was doing and what she was talking about. But I wasn't in a very good space to be hearing just negative things. Like, you can tell people not so fortunate stuff, but you can say it in a way that makes them feel empowered and not disempowered. And during that reading, I felt incredibly disempowered. And all I heard was negative things like, oh, this terrible thing's gonna happen, this terrible thing's gonna happen. And that's all fine. But if you're telling me only bad things are gonna happen the next few months, that's gonna be pretty difficult to swallow because bad things are inevitable. It happens to everyone. But one thing she said is that you're weak. And I've had other psychics who read for me who said, oh, you know, you're gonna be kind of like us, but you're gonna focus on showing people how to love themselves because of your growth and experiences in love and self-love. I was like, okay. And they said, you're not going to be as powerful as us, but you're definitely going to be someone who makes a difference in other people's lives. The reading I had with the Vietnamese clairvoyant psychic, she told me that you need a mentor to teach you how to do things and do it properly and how to protect yourself. And I knew that from the very beginning. I also wasn't taking it as seriously. I thought it was just kind of like ritualistic stuff. I decided to change from vlogging on my iPhone to my DJI because I kept running out of memory on my phone. The Vietnamese clairvoyant woman who read for me around this time last year told me I need a mentor and that she would be my mentor, but something felt off about it. My friend was telling me that based on my personality and just the way I work with clients, I need a Mr. Miyagi rather than a Creed from Cobra Kai. I like being direct with people, but there's a way to do it without brutality. If you're gonna deliver bad news or not so ideal news or information to people, there are ways to go about it without making it hurt even more than it already does. Thinking that if I can make it happen sometime this year or next year, I would really like to go back to Vietnam, and I've never been. Maybe I can meet a psychic fortune teller, which that could be a mentor for me somehow. And I want to think that maybe it's just imposter syndrome. I've been invited to do a couple events the next couple of months, and I just don't feel ready, even though I've been doing events the past year and people really enjoy it. I get mostly positive feedback and just, you know, some constructive feedback about setup. I almost kind of wonder if any of the feelings I have are just my perfectionism. I think I just need to take a break. I mean, this has been something I've struggled with since I started. It's that I'm saying stuff and I don't know where it's coming from. It doesn't feel like I'm tethered to anything. And that sounds pretty obscure and weird, but what I say is incredibly accurate because I've helped people discover insane family history, for example, and ancestral information that I don't know how I knew. And it didn't feel like anything was talking in my ear. I just knew things. And it's kind of an unsettling feeling because I don't know where the information came from. And I think that is powerful, but at the same time, to me, it's unsettling, and I wonder if it's a control issue within me, right? I'm rambling because I don't know if I'll end up posting this, but I wonder if people would be curious about what it's like to learn in the intuitive arts, because it's not something I was born with. I didn't have hauntings. I was never haunted or anything. I didn't have abilities when I was young, because I want to pride myself in being precise and accurate, because I've had issues where I predict things and they're accurate but they're not precise. Like, I can predict that something will happen, but the timing is off by months or a year, and that that pisses me off. I sound pretty hard on myself, but like, I can't call myself good if I can't be more accurate. That's how I think anyway. Especially if I want my work to be more approachable, how do I do it? How do I explain how I know things to people who are curious? Because I enjoy telling people how I do things and how I know things if I'm able to pinpoint it. For example, I enjoy allowing people to see what I see. There are certain things that I will never be able to explain, like how I'm able to do this in the first place. I think most people can pick up the intuitive arts if they wanted to, but it's a matter of if they want to continue it as a discipline, because it does take research, it does take practice, and it does take developing rituals to protect yourself. Because there are people who have tried to dabble in the intuitive arts and they go through psychosis and they go insane. I mean, there's a certain level of neuroticism that you develop when you're doing stuff like this. I also take pride in being pragmatic and rational. So being unable to explain certain aspects of what I do as a psychic or a divination professional, right, bothers me. I will say, with 111 repeatedly coming up, it has to do with mindset. And it sounds like you're very attached to how it should look and that it should be in a certain location, and that maybe being flexible on the vision, not saying that the goal is wrong, but then as you shift and as you get older and you continue to gain experience, that it's okay to transform your idea along with yourself. Does that make sense?
No, that does make sense. That's kind of like what my dad was saying today too. Have I talked to you before about like that meme with like the diamonds?
Mm-mm. Okay, while you do that, I'm gonna pull some cards.
This is how I feel right now.
Oh, mm-hmm.
It's like, it's right there, and like, I don't want
to begin.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make it complicated.
Oh no, you're not the one making it complicated. They have a lot to say.
Now I think I know what you tried to say to me.